If you've been scrolling through endless pages of projector screens, trying to figure out whether a motorized 180-inch model is worth the extra hassle, you're not alone. I've been there, juggling the promise of a movie theater feel against the fear of ending up with a giant white wall that never quite folds away the way you imagined. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'm going to walk through exactly what the Elite Screen Spectrum Swift RC1 brings to the table, why it might be the piece that finally clicks for your home theater, and where it can fall short if your setup isn't quite ready for it. First, let's talk about the kind of room where the screen actually shines. Imagine a dedicated home theater space, 4 walls painted a dark matte, controlled lighting, and a projector that can throw true 4K or even 8K content. In that environment, a 180-inch, motorized screen is a game changer. The moment you press the remote, the surface rolls down smoothly, creating an instant 100-inch-plus viewing area that fills your field of vision. That instant, cinematic feel is what most buyers are after, and it's something you can't replicate with a static pull-down or a DIY white sheet. But let's be clear, the screen isn't a plug-and-play, drop-it-on-the-floor-and-boom solution for any living room. The motor unit needs a power source, and the screen itself must be mounted securely, typically on a ceiling joist or a sturdy wall bracket. If you're living in a small apartment, or you don't have the ability to run a power line to the projection area, the installation can become a real obstacle. In my own research, I saw a number of people who tried to bolt the screen onto a lightweight drywall anchor and ended up with a wobble that made the picture look like it was breathing. The takeaway? This screen is best suited for a semi-permanent setup where you can afford a little structural work. Now, onto the practical strengths. The first thing that impressed me was the durability of the casing. The motor housing feels solid, with a metal frame that resists flexing. In a room where you might occasionally bump the screen while reaching for a remote, that sturdiness translates to fewer headaches down the line. The screen material itself is another highlight. It's a matte white designed for high gain, which means it reflects more light back to the viewer while still keeping hotspots at bay. In real-world testing, users reported that even in rooms with modest ambient light like a family den with a few lamps on, the image stayed vivid and contrast-rich. That's a practical win for anyone who isn't ready to black out the entire room. Another practical advantage is the remote control's integration with the Spectrum Swift RC1. The remote is not just a basic up-down button, it also lets you program custom stopping points, so you can set the screen to stop at a half-height position for presentations or a full-height position for movies. I saw a reviewer mention using that feature for boardroom meetings, where a full-screen display would dominate the room but a half-screen allowed space for note-taking. For a home theater enthusiast, this flexibility can be a subtle but appreciated convenience, especially when you're switching between gaming and film nights and want a quick, reproducible setup. Where the product shows its limits is in the hidden trade-offs that most spec sheets gloss over. The motor itself, while quiet for the most part, does emit a faint whir when it's moving. In a completely silent room, that sound can be noticeable, especially during a tense movie scene where every whisper matters. It's not a deal-breaker for most users, but it's something to keep in mind if you prioritize absolute silence. Also, the screen size 180 inches measured diagonally means you need a projector that can actually fill that space without stretching the image. If your projector's throw distance or lumens rating falls short, you'll end up with a dim or pixelated picture that defeats the purpose of a high-end screen. In short, the screen assumes you already have a capable projector. It isn't a shortcut to a better image on its own. Who should buy this? If you're a dedicated home theater builder, a serious gamer who wants an immersive 4K experience, or a small business that needs a reliable, motorized display for presentations, the Spectrum Swift RC1 is worth the investment. The value comes from the convenience of the motorized drop, the high-gain material that works well in moderately lit rooms, and the durability that will survive years of use. Those who already have a projector that can comfortably throw a 180-inch image will find that this screen completes the package without requiring additional accessories. Just mount, plug in, and you're set. Who should skip it? Anyone living in a rental property where you can't drill into ceilings, or anyone who only watches movies occasionally and doesn't mind a manual pull-down screen, will likely find the motorized component unnecessary. Likewise, if your budget is tight and you're still deciding on a projector, you